Wednesday, my dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Wednesday, my dudes. How are you, Pat?
Hello, my dudes. Yeah, we were seconds late because I am on just chaos theory today for me, but I'll keep that out. I'll spare everyone the reasons.
Dealing with tech is rough. With tech is rough, but we are very happy to be here and say hi to all of our friends. I feel recently that we have the first several have gotten ignored. So we want to, not intentionally, but just to say hi to Kimiko and Truth and Hogel. Hello. We got 2Fs who your graphics, very popular, Pat. Very popular. I like them. Although we don't like having to look at those people, two such unattractive human beings. Yes, Trump and Schumer. Hey, Jay, Wally, hello. We've got Gwen, love you in your mask. Teresa saying just quick highs to everybody because we feel bad sometimes at the end of the night. We haven't gotten to say hello to Adria. And your, oh my God, Moscow Mule. Took me a second.
The general consensus is the beer of the day. Somebody was asking.
Oh yeah,
must be kind of blue, but yes.
Yeah,
excellent.
I love it. All right, Carl. Hello. The runs. We Saul, who I always will feel bad about booting from the studio several years ago. Unintentionally, and yet it happened. Anyway, we're really glad you guys are all here. As a reminder, please make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. I'm actually going to be gone for a week and a half to Orlando to see my younger son Xander in his college baseball tournament, and so we will have possibly some altered schedules. I don't really know yet. So please do make sure to smash that notification bell. How are you, Pat? Hello.
I'm good. It's good to be here. I got some venting to do. I'm sure we all do. So
not me. The world's going great.
If we teach you nothing this show, at least I have vented. That's my perspective.
Yeah, exactly. At least you got something off your chest. Right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Totally. I'm not going to change the world, but I might feel a little better.
That's where it really counts in the end. Just looking out for numero uno. So yes, we sent that shot glass, and we have to come up with a new thing because we also sent a couple to Reflect the Sun, and they broke on the way, which was horrible. Hi,
oh, you're kidding. You know what? I still have a pile. We need to do something with them because I think I have like 30 or 40 of them.
Oh. Really? I think because I sent them and then you were going to send the next ones, and we need to get that going again. We need to get that going again for sure. Let's see. Oh, hello. Happy new member day. Welcome, Nancy. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Cheers to you. Okay. That's right. You won the caption this contest when we did those.
Maybe we should bring that back.
You know what happened was when we added that our third show every week, it just kind of, there's no day where we're not either like, well, we're not prepping for a show, because it's always like, and I need to figure out a better way to handle my intake of news. Cause now it tends to be, about 10 hours of the day, I'm reading books or articles or watching interviews. And then from about 5 a.m, when I catch a bad thought in the middle of the night until about 8 a.m, I am also consuming news. I don't know if it's healthy because my heart is like racing nonstop.
Yeah, I'll just tell you it's not healthy. Find a way to tap out of that for a minute.
I know.
I don't know what it is, but you got to decompress sometime.
I really do. That's my wine and my hangouts with you.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get right into it. We are a few days away from the 6th anniversary of the declaration of COVID as a global pandemic. There is still no sterilizing vaccination. There is no cure for long COVID. There are no protocols for caution or protection in place anywhere. We still don't have guaranteed healthcare for everybody. And COVID is the #1 childhood disease now, respiratory disease, as cancer rates and heart attacks and strokes are affecting younger and younger people at crazy levels. This is me.
So that's good. Here's
the
other news. There's also a new version of RSV going around massively in California.
It's so just, and a brainworm that you can get if your dog or cat eats rat poo.
Well, that means my cat has it because I'm sure he's out eating that rat poo.
They all love that. It's so gross. Anyway, so this is our cheers to a quirky, fun, educational song by Mink DeVille.
There's vestibular, neurovisual, postural instability, dysphonia, pneumonia, and cardiomyopathy, aphonia, dystonia, and small fiber neuropathy, and mitochondrial ATP production inefficiency, vasculitis, thyroiditis, hyperlipidemia, hepatitis, myocarditis, thrombocytopenia, sinusitis, laryngitis, nausea, alopecia, halitosis, vertigo, dysphasia, and fever. There's anemia, toxemia, and postural tachycardia, ataxia, apraxia, angina, and dysgraphia, tendinitis, bronchiolitis, cerebral ischemia, neuritis, keratitis, hypertriglyceridemia. There's neuralgia, myalgia, and mitochondriopathy, coxalgia, lumbalgia, and microangiopathy, auditory and gustatory hypersensitivity, binocular and pupillary photosensitivity, circadian dysrhythmia and mast cell activation, dyskinesia, analgesia, patulous eustasia, neuropathic autonomic airway inflammation, degenerative dementia and dysfunctional mastication. There's interstitial pulmonary arterial fibrosis, myopathy, nephropathy, and arteriosclerosis, pharyngitis, pneumonitis, latent viral reservoirs, encephalomyelitis, POTS, and altered T-cell repertoires. These are only some of which the news has come to Harvard. There's many, many others, but they simply can't be bothered.
That was great. I am seeing people say that there is no Twitter link, but there is, and so I don't know what to do. I know there's that thing that comes up.
Yeah, I was scrambling, so I didn't tweet our show went out, and I just did that now.
I retweeted, but like there's supposed to be the thing where it like pops up on Twitter, as it's happening, and they said that there's a problem lately with what is this? StreamYard. And so, but like I can see it here, but maybe it's just not coming on the right thing, but I see it. Anybody? I don't know what to do.
That's Twitter fuckery for selective people sometimes,
Why though? That's so annoying because it even said what you were supposed to do was to go up. All right, Pat, say something funny. Do you want me to spin the wheel? Let me spin the wheel and I'll see if I can figure it. I'm so frustrated. Okay, here we go. We're going to do a little spin of the wheel and find something fun. And here we go.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, not exactly fun, but important.
The people all over the world hate the American people. They hate you. And what is pathetic about it is that you don't even know why they hate you, and you think they shouldn't be hating you. But if you examine it, they have every reason to be hating you because you are irresponsible to humanity. Look at the people in Iran. The guns that are used against those people are paid for with your tax dollars. The guns that are used to oppress these people, impose a shah, is paid for with your tax dollars. Your tax dollars is helping to crush humanity. I say you must take some responsibility. Everything in the world relates to everything else. Everything is interconnected to everything else.
All right. I am completely out of my element. I don't even know what to do there. So I am sorry, and we will have to figure it out for next time. That is very frustrating. Sorry.
Well, what you're saying is the live feed that plays on
like
internal to Twitter instead of having to go to YouTube itself from Twitter.
No. It will still show on Twitter, but you know how normally on the right-hand side, if you're looking, it will say like live now, and it just sort of like has like a feed of different live streams happening.
Gotcha.
I don't know, but yeah, no, if you go to Punch Up Pod on Twitter, it will just start playing in there. Or if you go to YouTube, I thought I was going to start in such a good mood, and now I'm all like messed up in my head. Yes, you're so right. I'm a little flummoxed because I am not sleeping and the world is falling apart. And I feel very, very hopeless. But another sip is always important. Okay, let's talk about that intelligence.
Oh, yeah, the lack of intelligence.
I mean, listen, there are so many problems with the way our country is being run right now, in addition to all of the damage we're causing. I mean, just, as we have people, especially on the Republican side, but truly on both sides and in our media, demonizing Muslims, talking about, theocracies, and that's, trying to come up with any reason why we have to destroy the Middle East and all of its civilians, while also saying horrific lies and smears about, Zora Mamdani and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, which are all just sort of fine. Let's just take a look at what happens in the U.S. White House, the Oval Office, with the President of the United States.
We are honored to come before your presence today, lifting up the arms of our President. We pray for your continued blessing and favor to rest upon him. We pray for wisdom from heaven to flood his heart, his mind, and Lord, you will guide him in these challenging times that we're facing today. I pray for your grace and your protection over him. I pray for your grace and protection over our troops and all of our men and women serving in our armed forces. And Father, we just pray you'll continue to give our president the strength that he needs to lead our great nation as we come back to one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We pray your heavenly blessing upon him in Jesus' name. Amen.
So that is our the only democracy in the world, or whatever we like to, the models of human rights.
And as we're trying to justify the reasons for this war, which aren't really strategically safety, security, they're not even resource related, because we can't win it. So, right. But there's also no plan. But the only one you can fall back on that feels like a real reason is some sort of religious crusade. And here we are pushing this religious shit front and center. Israel is pushing it as well. You got the Secretary of War. His last book was on, justification Armageddon. For a holy war against Muslims.
The whole, it's horrifying. Jeffrey Sachs was just on, I think it was on Piers Morgan, where he was, everybody who is a historian with knowledge of the Middle East and Israel and our economic hegemony, and who truly has sort of seen what was happening with Russia and Ukraine and the Maidan coup and, what was happening with Israel expanding its borders in the West Bank, committing genocide in Gaza, expanding into Lebanon, Syria, now Iran, all of the people who were right about everything are actually almost like they are freaking out, but also it feels like they've given up. Like he was like, this is Armageddon. It's going to be World War III. We're already in World War III. We are being led by religious zealots, both here in the US and in Israel. And he feels pretty certain, or I don't want to put words in his mouth. He continues to talk about nuclear attacks. And that is really sobering. I mean, I think we're all pretty sober about all of this and how horrifying it is. But in the midst of all of this, to know that the next step, there's no de-escalation. Iran doesn't want to de-escalate. Why would it? They, after the 12-day war, when Israel was running out of ammunition and was trying to sort of regroup, Iran took the deal and said, okay, we will, we'll do a truce, a ceasefire. They were again lured into pretend diplomatic talks. Their whole leadership was assassinated, and they don't want to do this again, because if they take their foot off the pedal at this point, it still gives the West and Israel time to regroup. So, and Israel and Trump are making overtures. They would like to pull back. It's not going well. It's not going well for anybody, but it's not going well for the US. And as you said, there's no winning this for the US.
There's no winning it. And the fate of humanity rests in a rational Iran, not necessarily de-escalating, because that would not be rational right now, in my opinion, even though I think they are rational actors for the most part. They have kept the retaliation to as minimum as possible while still regaining their autonomy. And that's all that's left, is you're taking away their complete autonomy, and they won't sign that away. So that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But in the big picture, I think that sanity will get us out of this eventually, but it's just all mindless, because it was for nothing. It continues to be for nothing. And the consequences could be massive to the global economy as well for years, even if they de-escalate in, say, 6 months or something, which is kind of how I see this happening.
6 months. Oh, geez. I mean, it's just so heartbreaking. And it is rational for Iran not to try to kick the football again. Because all that does is give, people a false sense of security, and Israel will do what they've done to Lebanon and Palestinians for decades. They'll mow the lawn. Every once in a while, they'll just try to keep everybody in line. If Iran starts rebuilding their oil refineries or their desalination plant or whatever infrastructure, they will get bombed again. And they don't, it has to be deterrent at this point. They do not want to get back into this situation again.
Absolutely. And I think at this point, the first step, stop digging, when you're in trouble. That's what we'll always say, stop digging.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We need to put a stop to Israel. And that's it. Like when you contain Israel and you say enough is enough as a world, which we haven't done. We have tried. Several states and countries have tried. Several people have tried. The public has tried, but now it's going to hit the global economy in a way that international pressure on Israel could be the way that this thing ends, is that they get finally put in somewhat of a check by the world.
Yeah, I hope so. But let's just sort of get into it, because it's shocking to me the way our media continues knowing what's at stake. They have to know. Some of the people have to know how they continue to allow this administration, and the party of opposition also allows this administration to get away with no plan and absolute recklessness, even to the point where Trump doesn't even know what to say why he started this war. You know, like that is really where we are. He has no idea why. This is, you know, Rubio blamed Israel last week. Now Trump is blaming Hegseth, Jared Witkoff, and Marco Rubio.
The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And
okay, do you think? I mean, the reports now are that Witkoff and Jared were in so far over their head during the nuclear negotiations about the enrichment of uranium. They didn't understand what was being offered, which is why the Omani spokesperson went on TV, on national US TV, the day before the attack on February 27th, to try to explain to the world what Iran was offering, what they were giving up.
No, we have utter lightweights in charge of our country right now. I mean, and their interests have nothing to do with our interests, is the point. So the ignorance is a benefit to everyone who wants to manipulate capitalism and get rich at the top. Like, so these guys are, you know, the war machine wants to have this war for a long time. You know, they don't want it to escalate to World War III per se. They just want to keep justifying, oh, we need new boats, new bombs, new missiles, new stations, new feet on the ground, new everything.
But it's no match for the drones, which are much cheaper and faster to make.
Yeah, there's no winning this at all, period. At full stop. That's what the media needs to be covering, is that the justification doesn't exist, but the strategy doesn't exist. There's no morality in it. And it's just putting us all at risk. And Israel is behind it, and they have gotten us into the deepest risk factor we've ever existed in. And the doomsday clock is closer than ever, all because of our allyship with Israel, who has no interests that match ours.
I mean, we talked about this on Sunday, but Lindsey Graham, I mean, what a treasonous action to go collude with the head of a foreign country and their intelligence agencies to figure out strategies to convince Trump to get into this right now. And obviously Trump, you know, he's the leader of the free world, or whatever moniker we decide to give them, but he has agency. But also that the fact that they were in cahoots. Lindsey Graham, who is a US citizen senator from, where is he from? North Carolina, South Carolina. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so dismissive to two different states. That was aimed towards Lindsey Graham, not the people of those states. But like, you know, that is also horrifying. And then to have Democrats say we need to to hold off on the war powers resolution vote until. Thank you, Adria and 2F, Silas and Saul, everybody. I see you. Thank you. But like to hold off on the war powers resolution, knowing, because of course they were briefed, they knew that we were going to war on the 28th of February, hold off until the following week, and then still just say, we need the proper procedures, which, I mean, yes, I agree, but like proper procedures, we need to know what the strategy is and what the goals are, instead of saying this isn't like they know what the strategies are. The strategies are fucked. It's carpet bombing. It's collective punishment. It's turning Iran into Gaza and Lebanon. And they know that's the strategy, and there is no goal. Trump thought he was going to do another Venezuela. So the fact that they are saying that makes them also complicit in World War III.
Yeah, there's absolutely no plan. And there's no plan, like what? There's no plan for the engagement piece of it. There's no plan for what is a sign that we are winning this. What do you want from them other than to them just let Israel run the country? I mean, that's where we're at now. And this whole thing it's Israel's plan. It's just that our military industrial complex and the people with the ear of our government and the tech bros and everyone who has money involved has become such a part of the inner circle
Yep.
that these guys can't get the real, if they wanted to, there's no one around them telling them the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, exactly. Which, I talk about this with actors all the time. When you are surrounded by people who only say yes to you, you become crazy. And they are all just surrounded by people who tell them yes, and they only fail up. It doesn't matter that the same people who are the pundits on cable news shows are the same people who lied us into the Iraq war, right? Like none of it matters. What is crazy,
but they know what they're doing with trying to manipulate the public, as you see by the God thing with Trump.
Yeah.
The last people hanging on to support Trump at this point are the religious white supremacist people. That's it. The MAGA people that really thought no more wars are like, these are more wars, dude. You don't get more wars than this.
Yeah.
And this is not America first, because we know this is Israel first. So that piece is gone. But the piece that connects Christianity and Judaism and white supremacy and some sort of anti-Brown project, there's still in here. So that was for them.
They are a very diminishing part of Trump's base, but it's still, his base is, fairly intact, but it also is the operating mentality of, Peter Thiel and Alex Karp and all the transhumanist big tech AI guys. They see Israel, I mean, that was their laboratory for all of their products that then they get to sell to the world market. But I think they also see it as their eventual nation state where they will be able to rule the roost. That seems like what they want. It's interesting to me that last week, Rubio said, well, Israel, we're doing it because Israel wanted us to do it. Basically, we knew Israel was going to do it, and we didn't want Americans to be targeted, which, by the way, they're already targeted. Like all of the Middle Eastern countries where the U.S. has bases have been attacked by Iran, which makes sense because that's also where, as much as the leadership of those countries, they were insisting that they were not strategizing or allowing any missiles or, anything to be sent from the bases in their countries. One, it sort of doesn't matter because if people are allowed to, even if U.S. military is allowed to refuel or decompress, or you're aiding them in any way, you are helping that military effort. But then also there have been a couple of videos shown, I think it was from the Department of War, that Iran then responded to, the Department of, Hegseth bragging about more damage and death and destruction. And they said, thank you for verifying that this actually came from, one of the Gulf states. So this is horrible. But Rubio pulled back because there was a huge, the Zionist community was like, don't blame this war on Zionists, right? And Israel, because that's anti-Semitism. So then he was like, no, Trump wanted to do it. Then Trump said, oh, I actually pushed Israel's hand and all that. Well, now you've got Senator Chris Murphy coming out of the briefing saying, we did it because of Israel.
Why are we at war with Iran?
Great question. Yeah, great question. I mean, the simplest explanation, might be the one that they gave 24 hours in, that they've kind of tried to backtrack since then, which is that Israel made us do it. That Bibi decided on this timeline, Netanyahu decided he wanted to attack, and he convinced Trump to join him by scaring Trump into believing that U.S. assets in the region would be at risk, and so Trump was better off just joining Netanyahu. I hope that isn't the full explanation, but you're right. As we are now hearing that the nuclear program is not part of their targeting campaign, as we're now more confident that even harder line leadership is taking hold, as the Strait of Hormuz is still being shut down, even as we get their Navy, what's left as the explanation? It might just be that Israel forced our hand. And how weak does that make the United States look? How weak are we if our allies can force us into wars of choice that are bad for U.S. national security interests?
Yeah. And how weak are Democrats to not fight this harder? You know, when I look at the Democrats, this reminds me of another thing, like, let Trump cook, because all the harm he does to the country is good for us. Like, you know, hey,
what it is. Yeah.
Our donors want this shit too, you know, that makes a lot of our donors happy. And he's going to do so badly over there that it's going to make gas $10 an hour, which is going to make us super easy to elect in the midterms, because, you know, even MAGA doesn't want to pay $10 gas.
It is so revolting. It's, you know, the same way that they, you know, like, what's his name? Schumer saying, oh, you know, Trump always tacos out. Trump always chickens out. Trump's taco Trump. He's having, you know, discussions, side discussions, negotiations with Iran, our enemy. He always just tacos out. They would first of all, many of them are Zionists who are actually excited for this war and destruction. And then that cynical part, what you're saying is they know this is bad for Trump, and they are willing to let not only their own service members die, but tens of thousands of civilians in all over the Middle East. I mean, yes, Iran is like a 5,000-year-old civilization is being carpet bombed, and that's worth it.
If the first action from the U.S., the first major action in this war, is bombing and killing a school with 160 girls in it, small girls, if that doesn't tell you where this is headed, I don't know what to tell you anymore. You know, this is not, if Democrats can't come out hardline against our involvement when the first involvement is targeting a fucking school of kids.
I mean, this was from, I think, the 7th. So this is from, I write on behalf of the Iranian Red Crescent Society in the discharge of its humanitarian mandate and in reliance upon the binding principles and rules of international humanitarian law to formally submit our protest and request for criminal examination concerning a series of military attacks carried out against civilian objects within the territory of the Islamic Republic of Iran. According to field reports from relief workers, operational documentation, and data recorded by the Iranian Red Crescent Society, a wide range of residential areas, medical facilities, schools, humanitarian facilities, vital urban infrastructure, and public places were directly or indiscriminately targeted during the recent military attacks. This is 1 week in. Okay, so now we're 11 days in. This was 7 days in. 6,668 civilian structures have been damaged, 5,535 residential units, 1,041 commercial units, 14 medical centers, 11 facilities affiliated with the Iranian Red Crescent Society, which is like their EMT, you know, emergency services. 3 emergency response vehicles have been damaged. 7 Iranian Red Crescent relief workers have been killed or injured. That was a week in. So we went in right away with the Gaza Doctrine. We are going to destroy as many civilians and civilian infrastructure as possible. Pat, are you frozen? Or you took a nap there? Oh, okay. It felt a little Biden Trumpy. Just for a second, you dozed off. So like, sorry. That's our thing, is this is a society. At first it was like, oh, we're going to sanction them, you know, and make people so angry they'll revolt against the people in power. Now we don't really care. Trump has been like, I don't care who the regime is replaced with. It could be, and obviously it's going to be the son of the person they killed. They also killed Khamenei. So Khamenei's son has now been announced as the leader. They killed his parents, his wife, his child. Do you think that he's going to be in the mood to negotiate?
And look, if your goals are to bring about a more modern, you know, not modern, but more democratic, you know, sort of USA friendly regime,
right?
You shot the opportunity of that happening, because his son was not next in line for succession. He himself said he did not want his son to be his successor.
Right.
It was because they didn't want this to seem like a monarchy, right? So there were other moderates that could have replaced him, that were more likely to replace him, if he passed it on naturally. But now that you killed him, you galvanized more support for his son, who is more radical or as radical as he is. And you just killed his dad and his wife and his kid.
Yep.
So how is that? So we are actually impeding the progress that we wanted by this action right out the gates with that move.
100%. And also, like, we've been killing opposition leaders. We've been killing people who are political prisoners, who are people who were fighting for democracy, who were imprisoned, right? So, like, I mean, there is no strategy. It's a mess. It's because we do not care about, we don't care. I mean, they don't care about anybody but besides themselves. They don't care about us either. But they have worked for decades now to dehumanize Muslim populations, people from the Middle East, anybody who's not white. And it's worked because we see people in our media doing that, right? We see people in Congress talking about Muslims in the most vile, bigoted ways. But so wait, I just wanted to go back to the, there was a whole segment that just, short-term pain, long-term gain was obviously something fed to, I think it's Sinclair Media, and it went out to all of their satellite local news stations. Now that's what they're trying. And the United States public has had long-term pain now for decades. So nobody's in the mood for this kind of bullshit.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short term.
Short-term.
Short-term.
Short-term. Short-term and long-term.
Short-term.
Hopefully this is a short-term pain.
Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefit.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
The only way you get a long-term gain is if somehow you occupy and take over Iran, which is impossible to do. So you're not going to get better agreements for their oil somehow out of all this. No. You're not going to be able to capture and take their oil and withdraw it from the country. In fact, the Strait of Hormuz, it's going to be fucking full of landmines, and nothing's going to be able to go through there. They already are dropping the mines in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It makes no sense. All these people parroting this short-term pain for long-term gain. What is to gain? Tell me how you gain out of this.
I really think that they are ignorant enough and like high on their own supply or whatever that they thought they were going to be able to do a Venezuela, which is
that's
idiocy. But partly it's because they got rid of anybody who would speak up or say no, even in, listen, basically Democrats and Republicans are the same on foreign policy anyway. So, but like they got rid of any of the experts who might actually be warding them off and explaining that it is impossible. You are not going to take over Iran. You are not going to find a subdued leader who is going to be in the mood to make peace with you and hand over contracts, cheap contracts for oil. That's not happening.
And if you try to decimate the country somehow and just destroy infrastructure, whatever,
right,
all you're doing is impeding the production of oil. If by any measure, if you lower their stock of oil, that's harmful to everyone else in the world, because that's our stocks in the country are going down because of the perceived damage to the global amount of oil available to the world right now.
I got a fun story for that, because the Secretary of Energy 2 days ago tweeted out, President Trump is maintaining stability of global energy during the military operations against Iran. The U.S. Navy successfully escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz to ensure oil remains flowing to global markets. It was, mass retweeted. The price of oil barrels went way down. People either bought it up or however that all works. Then that tweet disappears. Iran, their foreign minister says U.S. officials are posting fake news to manipulate markets. It won't protect them from inflationary tsunami they've imposed on Americans. Markets are facing biggest shortfall in history, bigger than the Arab oil embargo, Iran's Islamic revolution, and the Kuwait invasion combined. And then we get White House says what's today? It was today, yeah. That the U.S. Navy has not escorted vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. So whoever benefited from that quickly made, some millions of dollars.
And look, I watched this guy on Democracy Now! Who's an oil guy, who gave a big interview about the strait itself. And he drove the ship. He was a captain of one of the ships that did that kind of stuff. And yes, you can provide defense for ships selectively to go through there. And eventually, maybe the plan is to try to take over control of the whole strait.
Right.
But that project is so insane to do. And until the problem is insurers won't insure the boats. So the boats won't take themselves through the strait. So if you own a boat and you're not insured for it, it's not worth it's not worth it. It's too risky for your business. You're talking millions of dollars per shipment through these straits.
Do you think that Trump is feeling that? Listen to this. I mean, these people are so insane. We've got Lindsey Graham scolding his Arab friends to step up.
To our allies, step up. Get our air bases out of Spain. They're not reliable. Move all those airplanes to a country that would let us use them when we're threatened by a regime like Iran. To our friends in Spain, man, you have lost your way. I don't want to do business with you anymore. I want our air bases out of Spain into a country that will let us use them. To our Arab friends, I've tried to help you construct a new Mideast. You need to up your game here. I can't go to South Carolina and say we're fighting and you won't publicly fight. What you're doing behind the scenes, that has to stop. The double dealing of the Arab world when it comes to this stuff needs to end. I go back to South Carolina. I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast. What I want you to do in the Mideast, to our friends in Saudi Arabia and other places, step forward and say, this is my fight too. I join America. I'm publicly involved in bringing this regime down. If you don't, you're making a great mistake and you're going to cut off the ability to have a better relationship with the United States. I say this as a friend.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah. They're like, the U.S. has shipped all of its defensive and offensive military supply to Israel. They are leaving the bases on all of their Arab friends, nations, leaving them to be attacked because they're U.S. military bases in these countries. They even pulled from South Korea some of our, weapons and intelligence gathering. We are leaving all of our friends behind. And, I guess on some level, it's my one hope is that possibly there is a new forging of peace amongst Middle East nations China and Russia, because they know they cannot rely on the US. We are absolutely traitorous. Nobody should ever trust anything we say.
We're traitorous, and when we pull out, and it gives Iran an opportunity to bomb an American base in some of these countries, which then our press spins as another attack on that country. Which okay, fine, try to dupe our dumb, ignorant populace that doesn't really know what's going on, and maybe that will work a little bit. You could say, "Oh, Iran bombed 18 countries at some point. Who cares, right?" But the rest of the world in these countries know that's not true. They know that they're targeting Americans. So it's just another lie that doesn't work.
But it is like watching the media work so hard to blame Iran for all of this. It's the reason that Francesca Albanese has been sanctioned for her work on tying the media or actually, no, that's her next project, but tying all these different global companies to genocide. The complicity of the media in allowing this to happen and spinning narratives that make no sense. Like this was from Meet the Press with Kristen Welker talking to the foreign minister of Iran, Araghchi, about the school bombing, which from almost day one, everybody knew was either the US or Israel. Yeah. I mean, like at the very beginning, it could have been either. And then now it's definitively a Tomahawk missile. But this was her 2 days ago asking him, are you sure it's not you guys who blew up your own kids?
Let's move to the strike on the elementary school in southern Iran. It killed more than 170 people, including many children. President Trump said Iran is responsible for that strike. What is your response to what the president said?
Well, it is funny. It is our school. These are our students, our girls, and they are attacked by an American fighter, a jet fighter, and they have been killed. Why Iran is responsible? Have we started this war? Have we attacked our own people? No, we were negotiating with the United States. And in the middle of negotiations, in the middle of diplomacy, they decided to attack us. And they have attacked so many places, including schools and hospitals. And there are all evidences that this school is attacked by an American, jet fighter.
Where is the Iranian evidence that this was a U.S. attack, a jet fighter, as you say? Will you provide
it? If it was not U.S., then who was that? Maybe Israelis. But it is obvious. Who else is attacking us?
Well, let me move on to this question about potential ground.
It's atrocious. Because we all knew that was Sunday. We all knew at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, what's her name?
Kristen Welker.
Kristen Welker, yeah. She was the one who caught back in the Bernie primary days being on hot mic being fed questions. So, I mean, this stuff matters. Like when you're an arm of the establishment of whatever, so she got promoted from that role. Now she's getting elevated more and more.
Okay. Only because I don't want us to be accused of fake news. Was she the only one, or was Abby Phillip also? I feel like there was another person also that I remember. So I just want to make sure that we're not saying something. She was definitely. No.
She was absolutely fed. Not in a debate. It was at a town hall, but like. Covering it afterwards.
Yeah.
I'll have to somebody Google.
Yeah, no, I want to see it because that's disgusting. I mean, obviously I never trusted her anyway, but to treat him like that, like it wasn't just Trump says that you did it to yourselves, that Iran, the strike came from you, but then she says, well, are you going to give proof for that? We all have proof. Everything is completely tracked. Like we know it was a U.S. Tomahawk. There are 4 countries who get U.S. Tomahawks. Like it is so disgusting and disrespectful. Even the one sort of bright moment. This came from this is Sean McCreish from the New York Times. Cannot believe that somebody from the New York Times actually asked this.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
So that's the only one. And now Hegseth's out there just saying, no, these people are so barbaric, just like Palestinians in Gaza, just like Hamas. They use their own people as shields. They bomb their own schools. They bomb their own hospitals. Now they're just doing, this is completely the Gaza doctrine, 100%.
Yeah, it's taken over our own government is now run by all the philosophies of Israel, all the strategies, everything. Like,
they got away with it. Who stopped them?
And for him, even if this is a moment where he's going to say he's going to own it, like this is his owning it moment, sort of.
Right.
And it just falls. The real response is we're investigating. It would be such a tragedy if that was the case.
Right.
We're going to get to the bottom of why this happened. But his is like, I can live with it.
Yeah. It's war. War is hell. That's their other thing. War is hell. We, unlike them, we do not target civilians. So if it happens, it just means that it was a horrific mistake.
Oopsie.
When they make mistakes, it's because they're barbarians. Yeah. The other, sorry. Yeah. And now Schumer's saying that we need to find out who did this. He doesn't care. He allowed this to happen, obviously. I think also the fact that Canada, Mark Carney, who was for some reason praised, even though what he was saying at the global summit, was that in Davos last month? And everybody was praising his speech about how there is a new world order, that the rules-based order is gone, and in some ways it never was. It was might makes right. The only reason he was saying that is because Europe was starting to feel the pain of US imperialism, right? Like, he doesn't care when we do Venezuela or sanction Cuba or sanction Iran or Iraq or, invade whatever, like genocide. None of that mattered until Trump regime was like, we're taking Greenland and tariff wars on Canada, right? But don't worry, because he's right back in line saying that he just spoke with Emmanuel Macron about the situation in the Middle East. We condemned Iran's strikes against civilians and civilian infrastructure and underscored the importance of opening secure access through the Strait of Hormuz. Canada supports effort to safeguard international shipping and ensure freedom of navigation. So they're all just capitalist pigs, and none of it matters.
It just feels so much like, do you condemn Hamas kind of shit?
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah. Like, the U.S. just bombed a school with 160 girls in it. Can you not condemn that? Like, that's the most easily condemnable thing on earth. Condemn your partnership with us if we don't do better in our war. If it's justified, we could at least do better still. Like, that's not.
Yeah. Shameful. It is shameful. This just, and then we can spin unless you have something else to say about the school stuff. But this was a tribute that Iran put out to the children who were slaughtered by a U.S. Tomahawk and our Department of War. That was Iranian government ad that they put out. And, you think about like every single Israeli hostage taken by Hamas, and we had to hear every single name and picture of I'm sorry. We saw every name. We heard about, those children, the Bibas children. I can't remember the name right now. The Empire State Building went up red because they had red hair. And of course, that is incredibly sad that the mother and her children were killed. It's horrible. But Israel now slaughtered, 600,000 Palestinians in retribution for October 7th, not counting all the people that they've slaughtered before, all the people they continue to torture, all the people in the West Bank, Lebanon, now Iran. And we always hear the names of Israelis and Americans. That was 168 little children. We don't hear a single name of any of them from US media. It is horrifying. It's just horrifying, the disregard for other people. It's.
I want that video to end with the glee of our leaders, and their hype for the war, and the news people all spinning their bullshit. Like I want them to be accountable. I want this to end with CNN anchors, I want everyone involved to fucking be called out.
Yeah.
And I think if we can put the emotion behind that video in contrast with the glee of this ignorant, childish, immature, unfit for the office administration and the Democrats going along with it. Also at the end of that video, you've got, the Democrats both sizing this stuff and their duplicitous bullshit. That
is absolutely what has to happen. And what Jake Tapper, everybody talks about Bari Weiss, and she's horrible, of course, and CBS and Ellison. But Jake Tapper now doing a deep dive on who was at the iftar dinner at Gracie Mansion with the Mamdanis. Like, that's where the focus is always. It's always about, how Jewish people or Zionists might feel because they brought Mahmoud Khalil over for dinner. And implying in the segment, which we didn't pull, it's really long, but maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow if we can cut it up a little bit. But that he's a terrorist. He's not a terrorist. He was a graduate student specifically chosen by the Columbia administration to be the negotiator between the two sides, between the encampment and the administration, because he was able to discuss things so beautifully and didn't take, obviously he has a side, but was not incendiary and tried to keep things, peaceful, and never condemned. He actually did condemn the violence of October 7th, but that's what Jake Tapper is going to talk about, not the 168 school children, and I think 7 teachers and maybe a parent who were killed. It is the focus on certain lives over others. We've talked about, we know about, but it is just so glaring when you see
every square footage of time on primetime media on these major media outlets is a choice. So when you spend 10 minutes of it on Mamdani and 5 on the fucking complicity of the US in this war, that's propaganda you're doing.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And also, they're not showing any of the damage, and that's partly censorship on the Israeli part, but they're not showing the damage that Iran is actually causing to Israel. And
they're presenting all of this as a winnable kind of thing to the public somehow.
Yeah.
Without, what's the win look like? What is a win?
Yeah, what is a win? How many Iranians have to die for it to be a win? Just like how many Palestinians have to die to satisfy Israelis' bloodlust? Never enough.
All of them, and then everyone brown around them is the answer.
Okay, let's thank our super chats and then spin before we get to our next segment. Citizen Mendejo. Oh God, I've seen so many of those. And I try to blur my eyes right away. Thank you for the super chat. Saw a video of a settler city off a building. It's just horrific. I've seen that. I've seen them kicking puppies. I mean, obviously, listen, they kick children, they kick women, they kick men, they rape people to death. They are everything they accused Hamas of. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, 2Fs. How many poor billionaires think they're funny because everyone around them laughs so hard at their jokes? Oh my God. I mean, we should
all of them
have that Elon Musk on Rogan talking about the
fun thing to do with your grok. Ask Grok about
it was like
be extra naughty.
It was like crass grok or like body grok or some like ridiculous thing, and he's laughing at his own joke. The pedophiles ain't stopping. Sorry, I keep thinking it's PDFs and it takes me a second. The cat video proves one thing: seeing no evil, hearing no evil won't work this time. Revolution is the only answer. Yes, cheers to that, and thank you for the super chat. Lindsey, thanks to us. Yeah, Lindsey Graham. Blech. All right, let's have a moment of joy. Let's do it.
Yeah, baby.
All right, I like it. I am going to call an audible though and refill my cup. Very, very empty.
All right, you can't go wrong with small cats. This will take our mind off things for a minute.
There.
What did you do? I don't know.
What's going on in here? What are you doing? No, you're too young. Oh shit! Sorry.
They're cute. I love that guy when he's like, no, you're too little to be able to go over the barrier. I remember that like when my kids started crawling out of their cribs and you're like, no, that was your cage where I knew I could put you down and have like 3 minutes to go to the bathroom. Oh man, crazy time. That was very cute.
With Strike, I bought one of those, those magnetic gates that you can put in your outside thing for the screen doors,
Yeah.
And she had figured out it only took her like 2 or 3 days. She could just jump with enough force in the middle and just pry through.
Okay. Brilliant.
You would just,
look at her.
Yeah, she's a mess.
Brilliant. That was really cute. Okay. So just to, stay on everything that's happening and how horrible it is, we have got, this is Jake Tapper again, who brings on Emily Schrader, who is an Israeli American Jewish woman who just recently put out this exciting big announcement as Iran approaches 2 weeks of a complete communications blackout. It doesn't have to remain this way. I'm thrilled to announce I'm part of a historic, highly confidential alliance of Israeli tech veterans from their 8200 alumni, which is the, spy department, and Iranian underground operatives who are probably all Mossad anyway. Together, we are building the digital and financial infrastructure for a G7 nation before the regime falls, starting with 2 stealth ventures that simultaneously sever the dictatorship's 2 main chokeholds, connectivity and capital. Now we want you to be involved. If you're an angel investor who wants to take part in this opportunity, fill out this form or shoot me a message. Anyway, she sounds like an Iranian expert who wants the best for the citizens of Iran. So why wouldn't you bring her on, Jake Tapper, to your CNN panel to get her expert opinion on what the good people of Iran actually want. Has he ever spoken to a Palestinian or an Iranian or anybody who isn't a Zionist shill? Like, truly.
Yeah, I really don't think he has. I don't think so.
It's gross. So here's
I
Emily
don't think he's not allowed to, so I think there's a shield between him and journalism presented by CNN.
It's like insane to me anyway that they're going to bring on, because this is going to be Bari Weiss's, although, a lot of the investment money for the takeover of Warner Brothers for the Ellisons was coming from the Gulf states. So who knows if that's going to show up. I mean, this might blow up a lot of deals, but who knows? But like, why is it even necessary to have Bari Weiss? You've got Tapper and Dana Bash there. You're fine. Kristen Welker, everybody. Anyway, here's them talking about the state of Iran.
Emily, you've been talking to Iranians on the ground about the strikes and about Iranian leadership going forward. How do the Iranians you're talking to, how do they see the future unfolding in Iran?
Of course, there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of problems with the internet still being shut off, although there is some limited use with Starlink and limited other options. But by and large, the responses from Iranians that I've spoken to has been overwhelmingly in favor of the United States and Israeli action on the ground. They're very happy that regime targets, many of them, the centers of suppression of the Iranian people. Many of these besieged IRGC bases and forces are in fact being targeted. So they're happy about that. The main complaint that I'm hearing right now on the ground is that they're personally witnessing IRGC troops moving into schools and mosques. I've received a plethora of photos from Iranians on the ground of exactly that, moving both the force, the manpower, and weapons and equipment into school areas. So this is something very concerning. It's not new. It is a tactic of the Islamic regime and their proxy forces, but it's definitely concerning for the future. And of course, there is some questioning about what President Trump does intend for the leadership. The united call from the Iranian people on the ground is that they want the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi to lead a transition government. After that, go to a national referendum. Well, they will choose the system of government, but it's not clear yet where Trump stands on that issue. And we heard it in his press conference as well. He prefers someone inside. The problem is it isn't Venezuela. It's not the same system. And you have to deconstruct that system, the IRGC, in order to have genuine change and stability.
Interesting stuff, Emily.
Interesting stuff. The Iranians on the ground are united in wanting Pahlavi to be their leader. There was actually a New York Times photograph of people coming out to reject the, U.S.-led war, U.S.-Israeli war, and, Zionist online accounts were accusing them of doctoring a photo and doing, like a cut and paste for crowd scenes. The New York Times, because it goes against everything that we are always told here in the US, that it was unanimous, that everybody wanted that leadership gone. And obviously there were millions of people who did want that leadership gone, but also the US presents a picture of how grateful Iranians are for our bombing of their children and civilians. I mean, it's like this. Yeah, exactly what Saul says. Israelis love our missiles in Tel Aviv. They want freedom from Bibi and Likud. Imagine.
Yeah, it's a pretty absurd, tried and true tactic of interviewing somebody who you want an opinion expressed on TV that doesn't match the public. You ask somebody and they say the people I talk to,
right?
And of course, the only people you talk to is people in your circle of allies who you met with who want some sort of profit off of this war. So you talk to them and they're all for it. Every one of them was like, this is a great idea.
I know obviously that most people in this country aren't watching them. So why is it still happening? Like, what does it matter anymore? Most people don't
always go
watch
back
it. Yeah.
It's the hanging on to the only, you got to put up some kind of show that you're authentic. You got to put up some sort of show that makes the explanation, even if people don't buy it. Because if you don't put up something, then nobody buys it, and then you're completely cooked. Just like Trump with his religious thing, they gotta leave some reason for this war to whoever still believes it might make sense. So here's the Christianity part of it.
I mean, yeah, it is so disgusting. And honestly, all of these people need to see the wall. Like, they all need to be sent to the Hague, because they are constantly doing atrocity propaganda to justify. Like, how many different pieces of propaganda did she get in there? Oh, well, this is what they do. They are now putting their soldiers and their weapons inside of schools and inside of hospitals, and that's a tactic of them and their proxy. Like, everything is the code words.
And the only good thing is Elon's a hero over here because of the Starlink. Just a subtle like plug for Starlink and Elon. That's the only way that anything's getting through.
It's really gross. And we've not talked about, we talked about it when it was first revealed by IDF whistleblowers, but, B'Tselem and many humanitarian groups have done extensive research and said there is no documented proof that Palestinians or Hamas use their citizens as human shields. But what Israelis do, obviously Palestinians in Gaza they at one point 2 million people into a very small space. So yes, their weapons and their militia and they were inside of civilian areas. Obviously, Israel does that. Also, we have showed the map of Tel Aviv several times where, their Mossad headquarters underneath high schools in the middle of
much easier choice for Israel to not put these high desirable targets near the population, where in Palestine, they don't have that choice.
They don't have a choice.
What you're getting at.
But the other thing that Israel does is called the Mosquito Protocol, where they take Palestinian hostages, they dress them in IDF uniforms, put them out in front so that it will draw out fire from Hamas militias, thinking that it's an IDF soldier. So it's even, your mind.
War crime after war crime. Built into their society.
Evil, cruel, disgusting, barbaric. And they have the gall to talk about anybody using a human shield. There is not a level of hell, if I believed in it, fiery enough for these people. It is really, really just beyond.
It is. And I think, look, as they expand this, because this Iran thing is all Israel, right? We know that, right? It's not, nobody else is benefiting from it.
Right.
So their selfish bullshit in Palestine for their own, religious, just fraudulent safety perspectives of their national security, whatever it is, it didn't really impact a lot of countries other than their relationship with the U.S. and the international community and, their allyship, that kind of thing. But now you're economically affecting everyone in the world over in Iran. So that's where my hope lands, is that, the people driving the war are a small circle relative to the people they're impacting in a different way than Palestine.
Yeah.
You should have been drawn in because it's a genocide, right? But now it's really fucking harming your economy.
Yeah.
So that's a different egg.
It is. And it's clearly having an effect on the administration, because they realize now that, well, first of all of the job numbers over the last year have had to be downgraded. We've lost, I think, almost 700,000 jobs over the past year. And it's only getting worse. And now the price of everything continues to skyrocket. And parts of the government are shut down because, Democrats refuse to fund DHS. So, of course, that's mostly going to be TSA and airport lines, because all the money to ICE and CBP is going to continue. and all these new warehouses that they're building. But now with the price of oil going up, it's not only about what you put in your car, it's about what trucks put in their trucks and delivery systems and, being able to drive different merchandise around and whatever is necessary for the global community, but especially in our country where Trump is facing the midterms for his, Republicans, he's freaking out and basically telling U.S. troops to have some guts and go out there and protect ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That's his solution.
It's that is such a losing plea because all the bravery in the world isn't going to make the insurance companies back boats that are going to get blown up.
Exactly.
Which is at the core of this. So that's all silly.
It's all silly, but that's his message to Brian Kilmeade. So that's the plan. So when Democrats say, well, we really do need to hear what his plan is, they know, they know more than we know. So they know about the insurance, they know about the mines, they know that Trump has no plan because he's changed the reason for getting in 5 different times. So what does success look like? It's not regime change. He says it doesn't have to be Democratic. It doesn't even have to be somebody who's not, part of the Islamic State. So they know that there's no strategy and there's no game plan, and they are still not insisting that this ends. And in fact, Jeffries is saying he will, he's not committing to withholding the extra money that Trump is asking for this war.
No, they like I said, I think they love how bad it's going to be for the country at large, but because it harms the president and the Republican Party, how easy it's going to make it their world. And that's his outtake on it. That's his outlook on it. I mean, it's that simple. These people are selfish, narcissistic, fucking idiots. I mean, they don't care. They don't care at all. They're sociopaths. They don't care. You're not in charge of the Democratic Party unless you're a sociopath.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is Palantir, and that Joe Lonsdale, we were talking about him the other day, who is truly genocidal, and all they see are dollar signs, which I think they saw Venezuela. And, remember right after the kidnapping of Maduro, Trump had Chevron, Exxon, all these big oil guys sitting around a table thinking that they would applaud his brave maneuvers. And one of the executives said, Venezuela is not ready for us. It's not hospitable. I can't remember the exact term that he used, but we have no incentive to go there. It's dangerous right now. But then they threatened Delcy Rodriguez or whatever, and so now there is some compliancy. I guess it's sort of going well in terms of how these oil people are thinking. Then they are going in there and making tons of money with all of their different, there's my lucky, with, BlackRock and different disaster capitalists in Ukraine. That's a big money-making project for them, even though Russia's actually doing quite well because of their access of oil, and the Gaza project for the Riviera. So I think in all of their heads, that's how their egos are so inflated, and they do not believe in democracy. They have this sort of God complex. They think they can come in and take over.
Yeah,
which, of course, isn't going to happen. But it's all about making money off of the suffering of other people.
Yeah, and the people pushing the war are the ones benefiting short term from it all. Like short-term pain for long-term gain. It's long-term gain for all of us for their short-term gain. That's that's where it is,
That's
it's
the whole
pain for us
plan.
for a long time for them to make a short amount of money. And
So,
the worst thing that I think would happen is that they actually have a plan, and that plan is to take over the strait. Because if that is the actual plan, because there's another strait being built as an alternative,
right,
that's been in the works for a long time. If that's the plan, and somehow economically advisors have convinced, it's in our national security interest to keep that straight in U.S. control,
right,
because of that, then that means we are not leaving this war for a long time, which I really hope is not the case, but that is a possibility in this.
It truly is a possibility. I mean, it's Vietnam all over again, and Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, all of it. So,
but the difference is it's Vietnam all over again, with us all knowing it's Vietnam from day one.
Yeah.
Like Vietnam ended when we found out about, oh, it's Vietnam. This is what was happening the whole time. It was all bullshit. Okay, so that changed it immediately. Now we knew from day one, and we're coming off of Palestine, and we just doubled down on Vietnam into the next Vietnam that's bigger than Vietnam.
Well, I think,
and everybody knows it.
There's so many points of inflection that happened with Palestine that have made it somehow permissible in these people's minds because they got away with it, right? But one of them was, we were always told that if you bear witness, if people had only known about what was happening in Nazi Germany, then it would have ended. Well, we all knew from day one what was happening in Gaza. And there were protests all over the world. There continue to be protests all over the world. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. So they know that, like, none of it matters, which again is a little bit why I'm like, well, then why are they even bothering with the propaganda? They don't care what we think anyway. So they're not convincing us, and they don't care even if but I mean, obviously that
it's the Darva thing, delay.
Yeah.
It's like, just slow it down a little bit with putting out some bullshit, pretending there's justification.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the learned helplessness of the U.S. and the world not being able to stop this. They're just like, well, let's keep going until we're forced to fucking stop. Maybe, I don't know. We're all getting rich off this.
The other thing, and then we can show the Joe Lonsdale thing, but the other thing is there are now like whistleblowers from companies that build those bunkers saying that there's been a big increase in the demand for the billionaire bunkers. Because obviously nuclear is not off the table. I mean, remember Joe Biden said, said with at the beginning of the Ukraine-Russia war, well, maybe we'll use a little nuclear, just a little bit, right? I mean, even just what happened with the black rain by blowing up the oil refineries, and that was Israel, I think, not the U.S. Not that it matters because the U.S. it's U.S. money, and yeah, it's whatever. But that's going to be generations of cancer and lung issues and development, neurological development issues with children. That will have an enormous lasting effect on this society. And then you think about like a little nuclear, what are you talking about? But now we're in a place where they're not going to stop, understandably. And we are run by psychopaths, sociopaths, whatever. Like it's no hold bars. And I always go back to the thing, and I know I say this all the time, but the climate is what first radicalized me 2 decades ago, where I had little kids and I was like, what world are we building and how are they, and I saw the projections and I saw that we weren't doing anything about it. And you started hearing about these billionaire bunkers. I truly think that they all know the wheels are off. Like, we are not saving our climate. It's beyond repair at this point. There is going to be mass climate migration, mass upheaval, millions and millions of people dead. And knowing that that's what's coming, the billionaires, it's like a fire sale. They are grabbing everything, stealing everything, every resource, everything to take with them in hopes to survive Armageddon.
Yeah, no, it's scary. I mean, I personally think we don't go down the nuke road, but that relies on Iran being the only adult in the room.
But do you really?
I don't know how much you can push.
Project of Israel that they wouldn't use a nuclear bomb.
I don't know. I really don't know.
No faith.
I don't know.
In Israel at all. They kill their own hostages who come out speaking fluent Hebrew, naked with a white shirt in their hands. Their own hostages that they, said that they were trying to save. They shot them. That's how, they have the Hannibal Directive is all about killing their own people because nobody else is going to take them. They do not value human life of their own people. They certainly don't value it. Yeah.
I get it. I do. I just think there will be so much backlash if nukes ever enter the world again in use.
From whom? Who will do it? Who's done it for a genocide? I mean, I hear you, and I want to think, what? Oh my God!
But it won't be for any. No, I get it. I get
I know. I mean, I know.
And you should act as if it's going to happen because glossing over it and pretending and wishful thinking like I have isn't going, that's not enough when you're talking about actual nukes. You need to prepare for the possibility that that's going to happen.
How do we do it? We all get a bunker. Find your favorite billionaire and jump in. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think there is an off ramp to this, which returns it to where things were at some point.
Right. Yeah.
I think we get kind of back to that, which is an isolated Iran, Israel still poking around the fringes, bombing and provoking Iran constantly. There's just the economic harm this is going to cause to the world is the safety net to get us out of this, I think.
Yeah. Maybe, but it seems, I mean, I don't know. Listen, the only faith or hope that I had for a Trump presidency was that he liked money more than war, and I thought that was what, it wasn't because he had some great humanitarian, side of his character at all. But I just thought he just wants to make deals. So that's why he gets along. He's going to try to get along. Yeah. He'll try to whip his dick around and with the tariffs and all that kind of stuff. But in the end, he wants deals more than war. And it's not, I don't think it's ideological for him. I mean, I think he has no regard for other people, but that actually didn't happen.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that didn't happen because that logic is still what I cling to in a sense, with the reason I don't think it escalates to a crazy level at, nuclear level, because the people in his circle are making money off the prospects of this happening. Right. I mean, if you nuke a place, you're not going to go in there and build data centers and AI. That I think at some point it economically hurts him to keep this up. And I don't know. I think that the long-term thing is a long sustained, low impact war to civilian casualties from the US, which keeps things on a surface. We bombed, we put a new ship in, they bombed our ship, we bombed, we put a new ship in, we bombed our ship.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, it's going to return to that level, I think, and stay there, because then that keeps the most people, the most profit, in their little circle.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I hope, but that's awful also in a different way. But yes, I hear you. Jason is writing this, and I've seen a few other people saying that. I don't know what's going on, and obviously we can't control it, but that people are getting censored on the chat. So I'm sorry. I don't really know what to do, but that sucks. Maybe just
our chat on YouTube is getting censored.
Or their comments. I mean, that's happened to me before when I've
Really?
All right, so this is the Palantir plan. Get rid of all those awful Iranians and then go in and make some money.
Point to understand is
they were going to throw flowers at us in Iraq. That never happened.
Yeah, well, and I'm not saying they're going to throw flowers at us here, but this is a lot different situation. And it's I work with a lot of amazing Persian people. I'm really excited to invest in Iran if we can get this country to be some sort of republic, not run by crazy people. And that's a lot easier than doing that in Afghanistan or somewhere else.
Well, so how much do you think this is about? We were talking to the Minister of the Economy in Israel. Is it about regime change, like full-on regime change in Iran, versus just eliminating the nuclear threat?
Well, it's very clear that this administration says it's about eliminating the nuclear threat. That's their goal. I respect that. when we attacked Iraq 20 years ago, even then I thought it was a mistake versus going after Iran. Iran's clearly a really evil regime. So I've been against the Iranian regime. I've been for freeing Iran for a long time. That is not what this administration says they're doing, and I respect that. I think it is critical we get rid of the nukes.
Okay, so from what you know,
he's such a virulent, disgusting racist, talking about, you know, killing communists and killing Palestinians, and they're all terrorists. I mean, he's just like, that's the whole upper echelon of Palantir and probably everybody underneath them at this point, you know, because otherwise you resign. You don't stay at a company like that. But certainly he, Alex Karp, Thiel, they are just like, you wonder how they were brought up, that they can, first of all, that they have those feelings, that they like express them out loud. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no, it's all the business opportunity of a foreign country. They're like, yeah, right now they don't want us in there, basically, but we can do a regime change, which is our goal. We would love that. It'd be better than trying to force our way into Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I mean, none of that is about what's good for the country, the world, anything. It's just your business wants a regime change. So that's good. And their business, you know, they're probably going to make, I mean, if somehow there was a regime change, they might make more money. But being involved in this and keeping this war alive makes them a lot of money as well. Right. So like this illusion of like, oh, they're not even making money out. They're profiting like crazy off of all this shit.
Yeah.
They want war everywhere. That's how Palantir makes money.
They want war everywhere. They're already starting all of the sleeper cells. Iranian sleeper cells are everywhere. They want everybody scared in the US, right? Like, we got alerts today, California sleeper cells. There was a news segment yesterday, and, you know, maybe they've been here for a long time. Maybe they're your neighbor. Maybe it won't happen today or tomorrow. Maybe it won't happen for weeks or months, but they are everywhere. And when you get people that scared, then they welcome Palantir and surveillance state, because they will give up all their freedom in the hopes that they can deter one possible crime that might never even happen. And
honestly, we are so much more at risk in the US from a false flag terrorist event than a terrorist event.
Yeah.
Because a false flag terrorist event opens the door for Palantir to get more contracts and more public buy-in for, like, hey, surveil me if it means I'm 5% safer at airports. And once I can't fly as much because gas is so high, it costs so much, and the pain in the butt surveillance, and they, you know, walking this through, and the process is crazy, and it's risky because a plane got blown up or something. Yes, surveil the fuck out of me. I don't care. I'm not doing any crime. That's how the public reacts to these things.
Yeah. Which is why,
which is
like, the
money
Patriot
to
Act,
him.
why, with the fact that we still have that is only because everybody's making money off of it in the positions of power who could actually shut it down. Speaking of, you know, false flags, this is a montage of people crying anti-Semitism. I don't know who put together most of it, and then we just tacked on a couple extra ones, but it's embarrassing how obvious it is, but they keep trying.
Dude, don't hit me with your fucking flag! Hey, false accusation! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
I got him, Ira.
Pushing me! Stop it!
No one's pushing you. No one has their hands
yeah,
on you.
Yeah, he's pushing me.
Ow, you stop!
Our next guest, she wrote a column on this saying, quote, "I was stabbed in the eye at Yale."
Come and help me, please. Hegseth. I feel unsafe. Can you come and help me? Could you please come and help me, Hegseth? I feel unsafe and I'm afraid.
I need help. I know that, but they're surrounding me. They won't let me move.
No, you are free to move. You are free to move. She is free to move.
You are free to move. You are free to move. They're surrounding me right now.
She's free to move. She's free to leave. She is free to leave. No.
When you were pushing me and yelling at me, that wasn't nice, right?
Police! Police! Help! Help!
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Example.
Everything on camera. What's your problem?
Ladies and gentlemen, live right here. Example of what they do.
Everything on camera.
Il a fait ça! Il a vraiment fait ça!
Il est fou, lui.
I was just remembering there was also that one woman, I'd need to find it and tack it on there. That woman at Yale, remember she like stood there saying,
And her husband came
Jewish,
out?
I'm Israeli, yeah, and nobody's helped me, like just standing around and everybody's just
Help.
sort of like off in his own,
Help.
yeah.
Yeah, every time I see that, I think of Monty Python. I'm being oppressed. I'm being oppressed. The Holy Grail.
It's
so good.
Embarrassing that that is where we are, that they think that that works. And I mean that, you know, there was the Free Palestine, you know, Free Palestine, that hurts their feelings from the river to the sea. Forget it if you say globalize the Intifada, right? Like it is really crazy making. They are still working so hard to make Zohar Mamdani a threat. You know, he's been called cockroach in the last week, and his chief of police went out there and, you know, had brunch with him. And another sitting member of the New York Assembly, also New York Council, also went and had some sort of social gathering with the person who called the mayor a cockroach, who's had death threats because he is Muslim, who, like, I don't know. It is crazy how we center some people's fake fears.
And so few people are buying it now, right? Yeah. So they're down to, I mean, once he met with Trump in the White House, Trump was like, I like the guy. Like, I mean, that shot a lot of this narrative down, and they're still clinging to it. We knew that, you know, that partnership would sort of fall apart. Yeah. At some point, Trump is going to call him a commie, evil bastard again.
Right.
And then Mamdani will send him a cake with some like gold drapes on it or something and win him back over. But I mean, I don't think there are many people that really buy into this crazy right-wing shit about his communism and terrorist shit. I don't think it works anymore. It's such a small sliver of people, especially when you end up, if he wins childcare for New York, and he's not fighting for programs that are un-American. They're just not here because we're a fucking capitalist shitbag country. But it's not like people don't want childcare. Is that when communism comes, when you get free daycare?
Well, and by the way, that's why people are going to, like, they will then embrace. They'll be like, yes, socialism is actually kind of awesome. Like free grocery store, awesome. Public, absolutely. Okay, so before we leave the Middle East, there were two little things. There is I'm just sort of discovering her, but she's this, I think, incredibly brave woman, Courtney Bonneau, an independent journalist. She's in Lebanon reporting there, and she keeps putting herself in places where I feel like I don't even know if she's wearing Kevlar or a press jacket or anything, which of course doesn't really matter when you're dealing with Israelis. But this was one of her latest reports from the field, and she, you know, puts it together pretty well that the money we're spending here is not coming to the U.S.
Hi, I'm reporting to you from the town of Sir al-Gharabiyya. I don't know if you can hear the two Israeli drones hovering above our heads right now, but I have a message to the American taxpayers. While you're unable to afford groceries and probably one medical emergency away from bankruptcy, your tax dollars are going directly to Israel. The money is used to buy weapons to kill civilians in foreign countries. I have lost count of the number of massacres that have happened just in the last 24 hours here in Lebanon. It is dizzying. The site where I am now is the site where Israel yesterday killed 19 civilians in a massive airstrike that targeted 2 residential homes. Targeting residential areas is a war crime. I'd also like to say that the violence that you export into the world will come back to you. Your government will eventually use these tactics on you. You are next.
That's pretty great, right?
I love her. Yeah, that's amazing. More of that.
Her name is, wait, let me look. I want to make sure I say it properly. Courtney Bonneau, Bonneau. Courtney Bonneau. And she has quite a few, just small clips that are now circulating, and she's great. And seriously, she seems fearless. I mean, anybody reporting like this seems fearless to me, but like she doesn't. Is that you or me?
That's you.
What's happening?
But
From what?
to be there, I'll just talk over you so your porn doesn't play in the background, Lila. Turn your porn down. I don't know what that was. You're muted now. Oh, fix it though.
I muted myself because I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, you know what? I bet it's coming from the wheel. That's what it's coming from, the wheel, which is a good reminder. Say your thought and then we'll do the wheel. It was coming from the other one that had the wheel. That was crazy.
Well, the only thought I had is, look, here's somebody, independent journalist, not even a journalist, bringing this news from Lebanon.
Well, I think she is a journalist. I mean, she would call herself a journalist. I just don't.
Got you. Sorry.
Yeah.
World-renowned journalist, Courtney Bonneau. But look, we're not hearing these stories in the U.S. from our press, and like the harm that she's bringing to light in Lebanon is not on the radar of anybody in the U.S. news. Like, come on, this is simple stuff. Just cover what's happening. Like, are you acting like it would be bad for ratings? I mean, what's the cover you're hiding under to not show us this?
Don't let anybody know that life could be better and our government could actually be working for us. That's why they brought Joe Biden in. Smash all of the protections, all of the social welfare that we got because of COVID, and get rid of it all. Throw 18 million people off of Medicaid.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
I know we all feel helpless, but this is a plea from the rest of the world for us to overthrow our own government, right? Yeah. More or less. Like, this is it. When the journalists in other countries are saying, hey, Americans, calling us out, like, you want something good in your country, you got to stop this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if there's a country that needs regime change.
Oh my God, for sure.
Come on.
For sure. All right, we better spin this before my OnlyFans or porn or whatever the hell comes back on. Okay, wait a second. It's just the ad that just happens. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, 1 second. Close. I mean, pretty much, Pat, why don't you just choose something? Because I don't know what we have. I can spin it.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, that's all right.
I'll pour a really big one and let you.
Let's just go with
dealer's choice.
I know we've shown this once upon a time, but I love the meme origin stories. So the meme that's the girl that's like looking wacky in the back seat. This is the origin story of that meme.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi.
Hi, Lily.
Hi.
What's the matter?
I'd rather Daddy go with Grandpa.
Grandpa going out of town?
Denver.
Who do you have, Lily?
Duffy.
Oh, he's cute. What are you doing, Chloe? Where are we going, Lily?
School.
I know, school's so fun. It's not fun?
I'll bring Duffy inside.
We can't bring Duffy inside.
Why?
We just can't.
Why? I take care of him.
Yeah?
Oh. I'll have fun with him. No, wait, but
Hi,
the door
Amy.
with him at recess.
Yeah? Oh. Daddy passed school!
No school!
Pull over.
No school!
Just pull over in the side.
No school!
Alright, I'll just pull over right here.
No school! No school! No school! No school!
Say no school! No.
No school.
You want to ditch school today?
Uh-huh.
Let's ditch school today.
Yay!
I think we should ditch school and go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
You're serious?
Yeah.
No.
We're going to Disneyland again.
Another weekend?
Yes, honey.
Oh my god.
Oh, honey. We're going again.
Oh my god.
Oh, honey.
Oh my god.
Chloe, we're going to Disneyland.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're going, Lily, for 3 days at Disneyland.
When?
Today. You
Hey, go
deserve
home and
it.
pack.
You deserve it, honey. We love you so much. You can bring Duffy, and we're going.
Mommy.
Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
Let's go back home. Are we going to Disneyland?
What about your doctor's appointment?
I don't have a doctor's appointment. Oh, I love you.
I love you too, Mommy.
See, we're going to Disneyland. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the original one.
That's very
Yeah.
cute. I feel bad because the little one, like the meme of her that we use at the end of What the Fuck, like it's such a funny angle, and that one small shot that she kind of looks like that makes her look so silly, but that's really cute. That's very cute. All right, let's move back to our intelligence angle. This is Lauren Boebert being asked about what is inflation, a hard-hitting question from Piers Morgan.
What is inflation?
Well, inflation is when the price of things is over is too expensive because of the federal government really squandering the tax dollars. So you have the Green New scam, hundreds of billions of dollars spent there to provide affordable energy, and it was not affordable. It was never free. It was never discounted. That money was taken from the American people and forced into the system. This wasn't a free market.
Hang on.
That's amazing. No idea what it means.
Not even
None.
a single idea. And like just rising prices. Like
Some bad things that's because of the Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so that's Lauren Boebert. This is, I mean, who would have thought that Ezra Klein looks like he's actually asking a hard question, because this should not be, but this is Trump's former Department of National Security advisor, Nadia Shadlow. She was his advisor in his first regime on congressional war powers.
The president can make a case directly to the American people, and Congress's role is the power of the purse.
So the case for Congress is once we have gone to war, if they don't like it, they can remove the money.
Congress does not have a constitutional role in the declaration of war. Congress has a role in cutting off funds for wars, which it has threatened to do. The president doesn't have to get permission, but yes, you can debate. You can decide that's his choice and how he wants to do it.
I mean, here I will quote the Constitution: the Congress shall have power to declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water.
I think
the president shall be the commander-in-chief of the army, but it is Congress that has the power to declare war.
So constitutionally, the Constitution says Congress has the power to declare war, but the issue is whether or not a president who deploys military force abroad needs to do so only after having Congress declare war.
And this is why Democrats, I hate them, is because that is easy, that should be easy to beat. But instead, just the way they will allow hundreds of thousands of people to be slaughtered in an illegal war so that they win at the midterms, they won't put a check on somebody like that woman or the whole Trump regime from his first administration, and ensure that he can't run again because he's broken so many laws and, acted unconstitutionally as the leader of our country, they prefer to have somebody like that, and then you can make fun of them and laugh. You're never going to prevent those people from coming back into power, because when they're in power, it allows Democrats not really to have to do much of a job except for point at them being like, look at how dumb this whole administration is.
Look at how poor you people are because of how bad they ran things. Look at how little health care you have. Look at how many people abroad died because of these bad decisions these guys ran. Like we're not against the war, but we would have done things differently if he asked for our approval. You know,
Pied Piper our way right in there.
And the problem is the Democrats they're sitting back on this, like, okay, technically in 60 days the funding runs out, you know, of the unabridged power of the president that has been granted to them by Congress recently, even though it's not constitutionally granted. But in 60 days there's a check on what happens. But in 60 days, if his stupidity gets us into a real fucking war, then it becomes un-American not to defend yourself, which is the next phase of this thing. And then in 60 days, if we have a terrorist attack or something here in America, or something that draws us deeper into it, it becomes more palatable to the public to say we're at war. And then you put the pressure on the Democrats to be the pussies that don't want to go to war or defend you because they're anti-cop, you know, blah, blah, blah.
And you've set it up. Trump always tacos out. Right? Now we can't taco out. We can't be the people who chicken out. It's just, and you know, listen, we already know that there have been so many of these false flag attempts or actual attacks. And that's what Democrats are waiting for. Because if you actually cared about the people you're pretending to represent, you stop the bad from happening as soon as you can. You don't wait for it to get worse so that strategically you might win the midterms and then never do anything anyway. Like, you know, you just saw 18 Democrats just voted for Trump's new nominee to be head of the NSA. Why? Why are you voting for anything? I thought you thought he is a fascist. He's the end of democracy. I mean, I actually believe those things. So why would you sanction anything that he does or says or any person he puts up for review at all? I mean, they give the whole game away.
And to be so cowardice in the face, I keep saying it, but us blowing up a fucking school right off the bat, we blow up a fucking school of girls. Like, how do you live with yourself, Democrats?
Not only blow it up, not double tap.
Even if this war was justified, like, you just got the biggest permission on earth from that evil fucking action to say we need to step in and be a part of this. Like, it's the clearest mandate by the public to not be giving Trump and these idiots all this unchecked power.
They love it. They love it because, you know, I mean, I know we all know this, but the ratchet effect and the lesser of two evils and 99% Hitler, and they're playing for the same team. Like, it's all just a show as they get what they want, which is more money for their billionaire pals. That's it. That's the whole game. So sometimes they do it by being a little kinder and empathetic Joe and hearts on the lawn and the, you know, trans flag on the bomb dropper. And then other times you just take whatever and you don't need the permission of the parliamentarian. It's like, I mean, honestly,
on the verge of getting nuked, and there might be nukes involved, and who knows, you know, that's where we're at.
If that's the price we all have to pay for their success, they are willing to sacrifice us. We're just seeing this is the false flag or whatever, pretend anti-Semitic attacks. Thank you, Justin. The Gal Gadot Award for Bad Thespianism goes to, oh my gosh, they're all tied with that montage for sure.
God.
Thank you. And
how is she doing in Hollywood? I hope she's getting fucking, I mean, I haven't heard her name in a while, so I hope there aren't big movies coming out with her.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look it up. I wonder what's going to happen. I did see that there is a campaign by the Deborah Messings of the Hollywood world trying to prevent the voice of Hin Rajab from getting from winning the Oscar. They're just evil. Like,
Good
what on
Lord.
earth? If you truly believed that Hamas is the issue and October 7th was, the worst day since the Holocaust, or whatever the, Narishkeit, as my grandmother would say, the bullshit, basically. How does that translate to highlighting one story of a girl who was shot over 300 times by the IDF, who knew that she was the sole survivor after they had already killed her whole family, and the emergency services were in coordination with it? Like, how wouldn't you want the bad apples to be pointed out? Because the IDF is actually the most moral army and whatever. And so let's highlight the bad that was done by this one little rogue group.
And that is where they give it away, like you said, because it's like, if you're like, no, all cops aren't bad, but don't do that documentary on that bad cop, because that's really, like you should, highlight it, point it out. Like, I would want that cleansing for my defense, because I'm out here being one of the most vocal defenders of this shit, and you guys did this, because this is not it's not in dispute. The documentary is historically accurate completely. She's not.
Even the IDF has admitted to it. They just say it was a mistake.
Yeah, so tell me, Deborah Messing is like, oh no, I want it blocked because it's not factual. So what about it's not factual, right?
They can't stand. There's one Palestinian victim who the whole world knows the name of at this point, as opposed to all the Israeli hostages, and they can't stand that. They can't stand one little 5-year-old girl having her name known. I mean, the hospital in London, they couldn't stand in 2023, before October 7th, they could not stand that there were Palestinian drawings on the wall by children.
And it comes down to what Frank Luntz taught Israel, which was emotional connections are more powerful than facts.
Yep.
But what Palestine has behind them is the facts. But people haven't heard the emotional connection to this stuff because our news is so fucking useless. So they've never tried to make the emotional connection to an actual person who is brown, which this movie does fucking tremendously.
Yep. That's so gross. Give Trump a gold flake, Big Mac, earn a life pass. Thank you, Justin. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, let's head back to the GOP, because it does not end with, Hin Rajab, absolutely. And I mean, they said I can't remember who was being highlighted on the news, and it was, an Israeli, I think it was an Israeli hostage. I'm not sure, but the person made the point, like, if we did this sort of coverage for every Palestinian victim of Israel, it would go on for 130 years if we gave every single victim the same amount of attention that we have given to Israeli victims. Okay, this is just like a silly story, but again, this is the person who's more popular than Democrats. Okay, so apparently it's been revealed that Trump forces his staff to wear the same black pair of shoes that he wears. And people are afraid not to wear them, a staffer said, as some reportedly ditch their own footwear to comply with Trump's wishes. So we're looking at a picture now that it might be difficult to see, but every single man in that picture is wearing the same black shoes. And then there was a close-up picture. This is Marco Rubio. And I don't know if you can see, but the whole back heel, there's like an inch between his actual foot and the heel of the shoe.
I've never seen somebody so fitting the meme of small feet means small other stuff, and
little Marco
and beta cuck, all that stuff. how are you going to force some guy who's in charge of your party? Like, how are you going to let him force you to change your shoes? Like when right-wingers and people on Twitter, and they're always like beta cuck, leftist stuff. It's like, you are what if you're defending this guy, you're the beta cuck.
Yeah. Well, and half the people
You're the last one to know
who are wearing his shoes said that he was Hitler and deranged, and in 2016, right? Like,
yeah, he called what's his name's wife ugly. New York
Cruz. Oh,
Ted Cruz. He's like, you're ugly.
Texas. Yeah.
I mean, how do you go? Like, you call my wife ugly, and then I'm wearing shoes you want me to wear in your room. When I'm around you, I'm wearing your shoes. Like, come on.
Yeah. I do not understand how adults allow that to happen to themselves. And that is such an indication, as like sort of funny and ridiculous as it is. It is also
just how far
terrifying.
we're gone.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like
somebody else tells me to wear.
When we'd hear these stories about, the evil of South Korea and, like North Korea and that kind of stuff, it's like it's a dictatorship because, it's passed down. So he's got this built-in inherent power, but Trump doesn't have that power. He's like, these people are going to be in power beyond him. So it's not like even like, oh, he has the power to get me decapitated or something. Like, you're just choosing to give this guy power so you can benefit because you're going to make some money off some oil deal or some weapons deal or something. It doesn't even matter that he called your wife ugly last week and that you called him a Nazi, but now you're going to wear his shoes.
Yeah.
That's how gone our system is.
It really, it's the cult of power. It truly is. It feels so much like Hollywood to me. Like, and how they say, this is horrible to say and whatever, but DC is the Hollywood for ugly people or something. It's like that idea of like, who's the powerful person, and we're all going to kind of bandy around and just yes sir him everything. And to see it happening on the world stage, though, and to see like all of Europe still basically falling in line with the US, it really,
yeah. Well, and to see that in contrast to the Democratic Party, which said we can't do anything alone without Republican approval constantly. And so if you wanted good things, it's obvious you could have gotten good things. Like, so stop pretending you can't get good things. If this guy wants bad things and he gets bad things on a whim with no logic behind him, no public support, no nothing. All the things we elect Democrats for are massively supported versus all this shit.
I think it is just so clear. It has to be clear to everybody at this point. Two things. One, we don't have a democracy. And two, the Democrats are not weak or feckless or cowards. They're doing exactly what they're paid to do. They are part of the system. They fight to crush the left, and they somehow figure out a way, whether it's, oh, you need 2 senators? Okay, we've got Manchin and Sinema. Oh, you need 4 people to cross the line so we don't have a war powers resolution? We got those 4. Oh, we need 18 people to vote for the NSA nominee. They will always find it. Just one parliamentarian. We got it. Oh, we have a supermajority under Obama, but we got Joe Lieberman and it can't pass a 60 threshold, and we're not going to filibuster and the filibuster. Like, there is always a reason. Nobody can be that thick to think that at this point, with all of the information in front of them, that we have a democracy and that Democrats are the good guys. Like, this. Like,
I think
get that out of your head. Everybody needs to
please
wake up. Jesus Christ.
Please get that out. I think the people hanging on to Democrats are still like, we don't know what to do about it anyway. So it's just a little bit worse with them. But that is the ultimate point, is that we have to get rid of this. We have to change the system. And you only change the system with money and power through our economic dollars and shutting shit down and things that are Luigi-ish adjacent.
Honestly, I know.
Like,
I mean,
because
I want all
the
those other
midterms are
things to
coming.
happen, but that takes organization. It doesn't feel like it's happening fast enough, and I hope it does, and all of that. But in the meantime, like the Luigi thing happens fast. That just happens fast, right? And all of a sudden, there were a few different responses from United Healthcare when people were trying to get their claims approved, right? Like politics, and Chris Hedges, I mean, everybody I think understands this, but Chris Hedges is always saying politics is a game of fear. And obviously nobody in power fears any of us.
And that is the core of it all. They need to fear it because the harm we could do to their donors, which are the big businesses we can stop giving money to and go make them go broke. All of that has to happen. And, I bring that up more now because the midterms are coming. We're getting the midterm fever. I'm hearing Eric Swalwell is now ahead in the governor's race of California.
Never Swalwell, never Newsom.
Yeah. I mean, he used to be a slick little, tidy frat boy kind of guy, but now he's got a beard. So, now he's electable. He's got he goes rough on the beard now. So now he's one of us now. He's one of us. But so what happens in the midterms is that's where the hope goes. The hope is like, well, a couple more Democrats got in, so we can tune this shit out. And we have to fight against that mindset.
We really, really do. Okay, one more, just because we were talking about outdated intelligence. Doge. This is one of the Doge DEI bro guys who was in a congressional hearing having to explain one of his decisions. And again, like these people stole all of our information. Like they fired a bunch of people. Part of the reason that, is being blamed for this horrific slaughter of 168 school children and I think 14 other adults is that the structure that had been set in place over the past couple decades, the Civilian Harm Mitigation and Response, Schumer, was disbanded by Hegseth. And so we don't have people who are looking over, it's all been outsourced to AI, right? So whatever happens, happens. And if they blow up Police Park because they think it's an actual Iranian police area, that's just AI doing its thing. But what Doge also did in the name of efficiency was automate a bunch of different systems within Social Security. And while they were in there, they scraped all of our data. So like these, 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds were given enormous power to steal everything from us, basically, in the, hopes of identifying pre-crime or whatever it is that Palantir wants us for. But here he is testifying about some of the decisions that he made.
How do you interpret DEI? There was the EO explicitly laid out. The details, I don't remember it off the top of my head. It's okay. I'm asking for your understanding of it. Yeah, my understanding was exactly what was written in the EO. Okay, so can you... I don't remember what was in the EO. So right now, do you have an understanding of what DEI is? Yeah. Okay, so what's your understanding as you sit here today in this deposition? Well, it was exactly what was written in the EO. And so anytime that we would look at a grant through the lens of complying with an executive order, we would just refer back to the EO and assess if this grant had relation to it. Okay, but I guess I'm stepping back from your methodology strictly in terminating the grants. Do you have an understanding as you sit here today of what DEI means? Yeah. Okay, so what's your understanding of what it means? Well, it is exactly what was written in the EO. Okay, so why is a documentary about Holocaust survivors DEI?
Objection.
It's the gender-based story that's inherently discriminatory to focus on this specific group. It's inherently discriminatory to focus on what specific group? The gender-based, so females during the Holocaust.
And you believe that that's inherently discriminatory?
I'm just saying that's what it's focused on.
Sure.
But this is related to DEI.
Right. But you just used the term inherently discriminatory. What did you mean by that?
It's focusing on DEI principles, gender being one of them.
So a documentary that's about women would be DEI. Okay. Is that fair to say?
No.
Okay. So tell me why what I just said isn't DEI, but what you just said is DEI.
Objection.
It's a Jewish, specifically focused on Jewish cultures and amplifying the marginalized voices of the females in that culture. It's inherently related to DEI for those reasons.
There you have it.
Yeah. And that was sped up, I think, twice or something.
It's a little faster than because those pauses were painful.
Yeah, no, I saw that video and it's sped up because he just sat around. He tried to think of the right answer to legally get him off the hook for this stuff. But no, DEI was just focused on anything about someone of color that was in a good light or anything putting women in a good light or men in a bad light and how they related to women or how they related to the people of color or
do we deny it because of Jews or chicks or what? Like, how do we make it?
If it makes white men look a certain way a little bit, we're just going to deny it.
Yep. That's Elon's he used to be a good billionaire. I mean, we all know that there's no such thing as a good billionaire, but like Democrats thought that he was going to save the climate, save the world, bring us to Mars. He was the good billionaire. He and Bill Gates and don't say it, Warren Buffett. Those were the three that were always held up. They're the good billionaires. The strike crusher, union buster, the Epstein pal who
COVID
poisons Africa, and denies the global South the vaccination.
Deny the vaccine for your own financial purposes and being in the Epstein files and then quitting, telling your company, sorry about the two affairs. That's why I was so cozy with Epstein.
Yep.
Because he had dirt on me because I had two affairs.
Yep.
With Russian girls.
And
women. I don't know.
Didn't want to give an STD to my wife. And also, you're right. Mark Cuban. Also Soros. I mean, like, I know we all know, but like, holy God, there are no good billionaires. You cannot be a good billionaire. Unbelievable that we have to have these people in our space. And by the way, when do we get that information back? It's just gone. Like, you never pull back the things that they steal from us, whether it's money, resources, biometric data.
And I'm thinking of the good billionaire thing. Tom Steyer in California running for governor.
Yeah.
Probably honestly, I mean, not the best one, but like the best one that has a good chance to win is probably him. And he's a good billionaire because he rejects how he made his own money.
Yeah. It's
but
easy to
just
give
it the fuck away. You made all your money off of fucking hedge funds.
Yeah.
And abusing and torturing people and wrecking so many thousands of people's lives is how he made his money. So like wanting to set up a new financial system now, well, you can do it yourself by just giving a shit ton of your money away first off, and then I'll believe you.
And
so I don't want him to be governor,
against any social program that could help the majority of people. I mean, now he says, but nobody's falling for that again. But that now he does think that Bernie, and he even said in 2020 when he dropped out that Bernie was probably the guy. But that was 4 years ago, 6 years ago, and it's not like he's been campaigning for Medicare for all since then. And I haven't heard him talk about the genocide.
I don't really care what he has to say until he gives away 75% of his money. Start there. Start there.
Yep. Absolutely. Solve homelessness in our state to start with. Absolutely. Set up, free clinics all over. Show how easy it is to do it. There was somebody else who wrote I can't remember who it was. Oh, Pritzker. That's right. Pritzker, whose brother just had to resign from the Hilton Hotel. He was like up in the, muckety muck CEO class, C-suite of the Hilton hotels. His cousin, not his brother, his cousin, J.B. Pritzker. But J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, was just revealed in one of the Bill Clinton deposition moments as being on Epstein's plane also. And, his lawyer, as he says that, because he's rambling, like Bill Clinton actually is giving off Biden vibes right now. Like, he's very sort of like slow. His jaw drops when he's not talking, he's sort of like out of it. And she's sort of sitting next to him. By the way, his lawyer, longtime consultant of his, good friends with Ghislaine Maxwell, of course. But when he reveals, because like what you're not supposed to do, obviously, is give more information than they ask for. Oh my God. Pat, this wheel. It's the wheel.
Just shut it down. Shut the wheel down.
Yeah,
we don't need it.
That's crazy. That's never happened before like that. That's so funny.
It's because it's AI. It's self-aware. It's like trying to inject itself into our show.
Exactly. Yeah, never. But her face when he revealed that, it reminded me of the the other guy, Lex Wessner, when his lawyer was like, if you don't answer the next question in 5 words, I'm going to fucking kill you. It was that kind of thing where it's like, shut up, But anyway, that was J.B. Pritzker. So not only his cousin, the sitting governor of Illinois, another good billionaire, he announced himself like that. Unlike the Republican billionaires, I'm a real billionaire. Like that is actually something that we should all be grateful for. Oof, yeah. I know it's not. I swear it's not my porn stash. All right, should we show one more fun thing before we head out, or what do you think?
Yeah, fun thing. We got cats. Let's just stick with cats. The safe bet.
Something a little, yeah.
Safe joy here. I don't even remember what this one was about. It's labeled cats. Here we go.
Good, well done.
Nah. No way. How the fuck did she manage that?
You can't get out. That's terrible.
Izzy, are you stuck? Jojo, what are you doing? Jojo, buddy.
There's nothing up there. Tito.
So we showed that already.
No, did we? I don't think we did. Yeah. Did somebody say we did? Oh
yeah,
no.
We did.
Oh golly. All right.
We got to get our shit together.
Yes, we do. We will do better tomorrow. And Josh, don't you dare.
Oh, yes. Let's do that. Prize videos.
All right. We are so grateful that you all are here. Thank you. We will be back tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Pat, do you have any last words? Final words?
I will leave it to revolt somehow. I don't know what that means, but if you got Luigi in you, go for it.
If you or someone you know. We are all for the Luigis of the world. Manja. We love you guys. Thank you. We will see you tomorrow night. Cheers. Bye.